there, and welcome. My name is Christy, aka the Nursing Home Chick, and I have spent the last 13 years living in a nursing home due to paralysis. I want to show you that life in a nursing home doesn't have to be dull and boring. It can be filled with joy, laughter, and unforgettable moments. I hope to inspire and entertain you with my videos while shedding light on what it's really like to live in a nursing home. So if you're curious to see what goes on behind the scenes, join me on this journey, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications so you never miss a new upload. I can't wait to connect with all of you and share my experiences with the world. Hey everybody, it's Christy, aka the Nursing Home Chick. Before I get started, I want to say that I am very excited about the fact that we have over 400 subscribers now. Thank you so much for your support and your love and just everything that you do for me. So today I'm going to give you part 2 of my story. However, I need you to help me by going down and pushing all of those buttons that make my channel grow. Put this into the algorithm because people need to know my story. Here is part 2 of my story. I left off when I was 2 weeks old, and my mother and father and brother and sister were going to the hospital to see me through my first surgery. And so I think I'm going to talk to you guys about my hospital life, my early years, what it was like in the hospital. So, hospital life. I got very good at being a patient in a hospital because I had to go and travel 6 hours away every 6 months to clinic. And I had to go to the spina bifida clinic. I had to go to the scoliosis clinic. I had to go to the leg lengthening clinic. And I think there were just some overall clinics I had to go to. So, I mean, even though it was every 6 months, sometimes there'd be 2 or 3 appointments in 1 month. So you'd go, you'd stay the night, and then you'd come home the next day. Unless it was an unexpected stay in the hospital. So, hospital life was interesting because I was just a little girl, right? But I saw the bigger picture. Like, yes, there was pain. Yes, there was surgeries and you know, being away from friends for a long time, my childhood friends. But I saw the bigger picture. Like, I saw everything around me as being fun and exciting and happy. The people that were at the hospital became like family to me. So clinic would usually be like x-rays. In the early years, they didn't have HIPAA, so all they had at this small little hospital, it was the Shriners Hospital of St. Louis, all they had were these orange cubicles with a curtain that was drawn across. And you could hear everybody's business. Like, there was no hiding nothing. Like, they heard my business, I heard theirs. And it wasn't even like doctor's offices where you can shut the door and have your nope, no privacy. And then, so that was clinic. Usually it was an x-ray, and then they make you walk in this weird halter top and shorts while they're looking at the spinal cord moving. I will have to say, I had the best doctor in the world. His name is Dr. Schenecker. He's now a professor at Washington Medical University. So once a year, we would have a surgery. And you got to think how that is on a kid, right? It's a lot of downtime. So, like, kids are always running around playing and doing things. And for me, I ended up not being able to do all that stuff. I was jealous a little bit, but I always found other things to occupy my time. And yeah, leaving my friends behind really wasn't hard because I would make new friends when I would go to the hospital. They had an auditorium that they would have us go in, and it actually had a stage on it. And they would do little activities like one night they had a carnival at night, and they let us all go around and you know, play games and stuff. And if we couldn't walk or we couldn't ride in our wheelchair and we were in the bed, they'd push the whole bed down. They weren't about to let anybody be left out of the fun at the hospital. So when I would have surgeries, they would consist of going there the day before, having tests run, like pre-op tests, meeting with the anesthesiologist, all that good stuff. And then, you know, go to bed. They'd wake me up at, you know, midnight to have a snack and to drink something to drink, because I wasn't allowed to have any liquids or food by mouth after midnight. That was before they started all this letting you eat before, you know, like a couple of hours before. They made me wait sometimes all day. Y'all don't know how good you have it. So then I would have the surgery. I would stay in for a little while, and then I'd be let out to go and home. There was one surgery that I had that just, it rocked my world in a bad way. I was 5 years old, little girl, and I had about an 8-pound tumor growing on the base of my spine. It was causing problems with me being able to feel things. So the surgery that I had, basically, I had the surgery at a different hospital because, again, back then it's 1980s. It was 1985, and they didn't have a lot of good equipment back then. So they had to send me to a different hospital to have the surgery done microscopically so that they didn't mess any nerves up and paralyze me. And so they did the surgery and sent me back to Shriners, and I was recovering well. And one day I went into the auditorium and I was playing with some toys, and I fell over, and it was almost like the floor went like that, and I just right on my face. I get up, I'm walking back to my room. I got dizzy, and I fell back down on my face again. The nurse came running, put me in a wheelchair, strapped me in, because back then they could tie you into wheelchairs. Yeah. Anyways, they put me in the wheelchair, put me in bed, called the doctor. The doctor on call came and checked on me. No big deal. The next day, the doctor came. And he's like, we got to do surgery, and we got to do surgery now. She's leaking spinal fluid. So I had to go to emergency surgery. And from then on, for, I want to say 3 months, every other day, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I had to stop eating it at midnight the night before, and I had to go into surgery every other day for 3 months. Mom was working. Mom had to go back home. And I was up there by myself for the first time, away from Mom and Dad. And I was heartbroken because here I am, just a little thing. I can't play like up and around. They made me lay flat on my back with no pillow for 3 solid months. An active 5-year-old little girl. I couldn't eat very well because, 3 days out of the week I wasn't eating anything. I kept getting staph-resistant infections in my kidneys. And they kept telling me that I could go home soon. I just wanted to go home. And they couldn't let me because my spinal fluid was leaking out. And I remember one day the doctor came and he saw me sitting up in a chair, and he grabbed me and picked me up and said, I'm gonna let you go home. And I was so happy. But then they looked at my back one last time and they thought they saw the fluid. And they're like, I don't know if you can go home. And the nurse said, we have to call the doctor. You might not be able to go home. And I lost it. I was wailing because my little girl heart was broken. And they let me go home. Finally, when the doctor came and said, it's not as much, we're just gonna let you go home and see how you do at home. And it was like 9 o'clock at night. I was so happy. You guys don't even know how happy I was. When I was an older child, like in my teens, they had a teen lounge there where you could play video games and listen to music, and they had teen magazines and all kinds of neat things. They had a kitchen in there, and then they had like teen night where you could go and have pizza. They would buy pizza from Pizza Hut and let you eat pizza. And it was wonderful. I met a lot of friends that are lifelong friends. Like, I'm still friends with them. So this one surgery that I had when I was 16 years old, I had a leg lengthening surgery. And so my leg was like 4 inches shorter than the other one. So when I walked, it was like, you know. And so what they did was they broke this part of my bone, and they put a rod in there with like 3 pins here and 3 pins here. They called it an EBI, external fixator is all I know. I don't know the acronym, but anyways, so they put that bar on there, and they gave me an Allen wrench, and every day I turned it like a millimeter, and it would like stretch the bone out millimeter by millimeter by millimeter by millimeter, and then it would fill the gap in. And that time I was in the hospital for 3 months. And then I got an infection in the site, and I was in the hospital I was in there for 9 months. 9 months. But the hospital was good to me, and I'm so thankful that I had that hospital, because none of my surgeries I had to pay for. None of them. When I tell you that Shriners are generous donors, I owe my life to the Shriners Hospital. I owe the fact that I was able to walk for 32 years to the hospital. I'm sorry, I'm getting a little choked up because, yeah, I had the surgery here that paralyzed me, but I took it for granted. I took walking for granted. And I'm so thankful to that hospital for allowing me to be able to be a normal kid and bringing normalcy to a very difficult situation. So that's where I'm going to end it now. I love you guys. Thank you guys for sticking around to this point, and let your friends know about this YouTube page. With that being said, be kind and be you, beautifuls. And if no one told you today that they love you, God does, and I do. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in my next video.